Hello and welcome to today's live event. We're very excited to have Erik van Hurck with us. He's one of our longtime MPUG contributors, Microsoft MVP consultant, and all around insightful and wonderful professional that we have in our community. So we're doing a Q&A session today. For those of us who are here live on the call, we are very excited to hear your questions. Feel free to drop questions in the chat. We may even be able to invite people to unmute and ask questions live. So in that case, you can raise your hand and let us know if you'd like to unmute and ask a question. Chat works great as well, so feel free to type in the chat. We also asked for questions ahead of time, so I'll double check my forum and my emails to see what questions we had submitted ahead of time. We are recording, so the replay for this will be available on MPUG under training and lessons shortly after the event wraps up. You're welcome to revisit, or if you're watching the replay, welcome to you as well. All right, and as usual, I am just sharing that PMI has changed some things on their website. So this is worth one PDU for you today. I'll share those claim codes at the end of the session. But things might look a little different if you haven't been on there in a while. If you need tech support help with PMI, reach out to them directly. They'll be able to help you much faster than I could. But if you have any other questions or issues, if you need a code that isn't working, anything like that, you can reach me, editor at mpug.com, or you can reach our tech support team member at helpdesk at mpug.com. We'll get you sorted. So I'll share the codes at the end, as I mentioned. If we have time, we'll take a look in the forum. For those who haven't been in there yet, everyone's a member on this call. The discussion forum is open to you, ready to welcome you in, and Erik is actually a member in there too. So we'll talk about that at the end if we have time. In the meantime, that's all for me. So I'm going to stop my share.
Mhm.
And Erik, if you would like to introduce yourself for a moment, I'll just go and check on some of those other questions that we have.
I will. And I will use my screen. And this is a lovely screen that I wasn't expecting. So I will use the right screen, which is this one. And there's a lot of Zoom uh, side panes open here as well. The meeting chat is on my screen, but you don't see that with me, right?
Correct. Yep,
All
you're
right,
good.
good. I'll just ignore that part of the screen then. So welcome everyone back to a Q&A session. This is the second time that I've been able to be a participant and a talker through this session. Like Morgan mentioned, it's an open forum kind of conversation. Um, a little bit about myself. I made it my mission to help PMOs around the world to succeed with Microsoft technology. Now, this is a little bit different from what it used to be 5 years ago when there was a single focused application that was Microsoft Project and Project Online. Um, but now Microsoft has moved away from Project Online in a large sense of the word. The application is still there, but we're not actively engaging with that anymore. Microsoft has said that it won't facilitate any updates to Project Online apart from security updates. So what we've done at the organization that I work for, Projectum, we said, okay, let's move away from that application and let's look at the broader Microsoft stack. So that means Power Automate, that means model-driven apps, that means Project for the Web, maybe even. And Project for the Web changed name just recently, and we might be able to cover that later down the line if that question comes up. I've been a consultant for more than 20 years. Actually, I am a marketer by trade, but I turned into a consultant because people needed that, and I was happy to facilitate. I have a YouTube channel, a blog, and you can find me on LinkedIn, of course, just like anyone else. The agenda, there is no agenda. It's open mic time. I do have the chat window open, but I'm not fluent in chat windows in that sense. So Morgan, maybe you can help facilitate if there's a question that I've missed that we might want to cover. What
No
we did,
problem.
what we did, however, is we've taken a couple of questions and I've prepared two slides and we can go from there. Um, this is one of the slides and reporting on Planner. And then I do believe I have another one, but let's cover these two questions to start with. And if there's any follow-up questions or if there is anything completely unrelated but interesting for anyone working in a PMO with Microsoft technology, just raise your hand or put it in the chat and we'll talk through it. So there's no more project for the web. Has anyone noticed that? So Microsoft has been quite communicative about it because there was this pop-up bar on top of Project for the Web for a while now where it said we're moving away for the new application called Planner. Um, what to do now? Well, actually, there's not much that has changed from a organizational perspective because Project for the Web, which is a premium subscription-based solution that looks kind of like Planner, but with added features, now is actually called Planner with extra features. Well, they call it premium features. Um, so system-wise, Project for the Web still is here. It just has a new name. So if we navigate to, let me make sure that we have that. This is my, let's navigate to my tasks, my plans. This is a list of plans that I can have from planner.cloud.microsoft. And if I would go to the old environment, project.cloud.microsoft.com, I will actually be redirected back to Planner. So there is no option for us. Oh, it didn't even give me a redirect. So what Microsoft has done is they consolidated project instances, such as Project for the Web, into Planner. And you can access that through planner.cloud.microsoft.com. That might be it. Com. Let me grab that project. Let's see if this works. Nope, it doesn't exist anymore. So let me navigate back to Planner. Is that my internet connection? That's. Am I still online, Morgan?
You are, yes. And
Yes.
your video and audio still sound exactly the same.
All right. Wonderful. So just what then is not working? Lovely. Live demos, everyone. This was
Yep.
not scripted. So from here, planner.cloud.microsoft. This is the interface where three applications come together. So the first application is To Do, which was bought by Microsoft from Wunderlist, which is the um, note-taking, task list-taking application. So To Do is a very personal interface. That means it's not an enterprise solution. So this is something that you would use for yourself. Then you have plans, which is accessible for everyone that has access to your plan and can be edited because of its wide availability. Microsoft gave notice to move all previous projects to Planner in August 1st, 2025. Yes, that's correct. From August 1st, Project for the Web doesn't exist anymore. They are all accessible through this list. So here you have your plans, and I can, if I click on new plan, I would be able to have a premium plan as well as a basic plan. And if you have a Copilot license, there will also be a plan with Project Management Agent. So the premium plan is still the same as what we used to call Project for the Web, Mimic, let's call it. I can add it to my pinned plans, and I can add it to a specific group, just like, let me, the project, oh, the project corner. As soon as I add it to a group, every person that's within that group already is a member and already can access this project plan. So Project for the Web Mimic. Sorry, something went wrong. Lovely. Let's see. I am having issues. Test. See. Oh, let's try getting that through another instance. Wood planner. Let's go ahead. New plan. Always have a backup. So here what you see is it's a little bit different. This is a different tenant where I have different licenses available to myself. So a basic project plan, a premium plan, which used to be called Project for the Web, and a plan with Project Manager, which is an AI assisted plan. Let's create a premium plan first. So and I can also add it to a pin plan, and I can add it to other components. If I click create, now you actually see it working. And here is a premium plan. Now, what makes a premium plan premium? That is the components that we're used to from a Project for the Web scenario, where you would have the timeline, as well as reports, as well as people and goals and assignments. So in here, we can create a summary. And stone. And let me just move a little bit. I can indent these tasks, and I can make them dependent on each other. And I can quite easily create a duration of 2 weeks, 1 week, and 0 days. And if I navigate to the timeline now, I would actually see that scenario as a Gantt chart, which is quite nice. So this is a feature from Project for the Web where you can see that that application is still here. It's just called Planner Premium now. Does that raise any questions at the moment? Any thoughts? There's this specific thing called roadmaps. Has anyone ever used that with Project for the Web? So this is one of the things that used to be here in Microsoft Project for the Web, where it used to be called roadmaps, and it had a list of fields, and these fields and tables. These tables, roadmap tables, were in a stored location called the Dataverse, but Microsoft deprecated it or removed that feature and now renamed it to portfolios. So what a portfolio is it is its own entity, so it's its own record where you can follow along with individual projects or plans, if we call them. So if I navigate to my portfolios, I have an example here, which is a portfolio 1. And what we've seen is that this mimics what we used to have in roadmaps itself. So currently I see that I don't have any plans linked up to it. So if I add a plan, I can create the plan that I just had. And what it does, it finds or it searches for that plan and it creates an issue, invalid connection. Let me do that again. Now it's good. So now I need to move the chat window and connect. Now that screen that you just saw, that looks really much like a Microsoft Power Automate Flow connection string. And that is because it actually is that type of functionality that we're seeing. So if I look at plans, I now see that this plan is linked into the portfolio. I can give it a status, and that status lives within that project, within that line within the portfolio. So this is a portfolio information field that's being filled. The start and end date, as well as the progress, actually come from the plan itself. If I navigate to roadmap, we can see that project here as well. If I click on that, I can add items within the system. Now the roadmap was designed, the roadmap and the portfolio are designed to showcase phases, larger chunks within your schedule, as well as milestones. And they have named them accordingly. So anything in here that is not a milestone is called a phase. And milestones are actually called key dates within the portfolio. So what I can do is I can add the summary as well as the milestone. And when I update this, I will see these two items show up. By default, they will be blue, and I can change the status to actually be green or actually be amber. Again, this is portfolio information. And one of the things that doesn't come originally from the project for the web. All project for the web roadmaps are still in the system being Dataverse, but there's tricks that you need to do to get that back into reporting if you need those. Morgan, are there any questions coming in from the chat, or does anyone want to come off mute and ask a
I don't
question?
see a question in the chat. I do see a comment that says Microsoft gave notices and moved all previous projects to Planner from August 1st from
Yeah,
August 1st, 2025, which is just an interesting. I believe Microsoft is going with the program project management trend to put together in a group plans, projects, programs, etc., and use the name portfolio for the entity.
I do agree. And in that sense, Microsoft is moving away from a heavy scheduling focused approach towards a more higher level approach towards projects. What we're seeing is that we don't have the extent of the capabilities that we had with Microsoft Project, with its earned value management, with its PERT analysis, with its 11 baselines. We now have a much simpler version of a scheduling engine, but we have the ability to add metadata on top of that schedule in a much easier and more flexible approach. And that approach is currently in the Dataverse, where you can create project accelerator-like functionality. Richard, I see that you had a question. Let me just read it out loud. Does Microsoft plan to be able to connect Microsoft Project desktop plans into this portfolio view? or into Planner. One of the features that Microsoft had in the project for the web is that you could import project for the web. So that is not an integration or a connection. So that is not synchronizing your desktop version of the schedule with project for the web, but that was a copy paste action where everything that could be in Planner or project for the web would be. And I state that very specifically because Microsoft Project had more features than Project for the Web, and certain things could not be copied over. So the plan, there is, to my knowledge, no plan to integrate Microsoft Project Desktop into Planner. We've actually seen that Microsoft removed that option to upload a schedule from Microsoft Project in the direct interface that we have here. So let me navigate back to my plans here and my portfolios. What we see here is a list of all our projects, but we don't have that button to import a schedule anymore. We used to have that in Project for the Web. Now, Microsoft said that that import option actually exists still in the model-driven Power App called the Project Accelerator. I've personally not tested that out yet. So there is options to copy your schedule into whatever is possible within Planner, but there's no integration or connection. No. Does that raise any other questions regarding feature parity of Microsoft Project and Planner, or is there any other question, Raphael? I see that you have a question. Is this simple schedule engine intended to evolve in time to a complete schedule engine like the one Project Desktop has? From all conversations that I've had with Microsoft regarding the functionality within Planner and Planner Premium, is what I'm seeing is that more features will be added based on the requests from users. Of course, currently there is a run for everything that's called AI. So Microsoft internally also has a priority based on that. So there is a plan with Project Manager agent functionality that has priority in designing, but we now also have baselines in Project for the Web, in Planner Premium that used to not be there. And Microsoft has a team, and that is a growing team because it is not only the Project for the Web team anymore, it's the Planner team in the broadest sense that looks at parity of functionality. I've recently had talks that there was the intent to create customized Microsoft project templates. So not only the ones that Microsoft creates for you, but the ability to create your own and upload that to the system. There's talks about enterprise custom fields, which is a big ask. So it might not ever reach parity of Microsoft Project Desktop like we had in Project Online, but it will become a more encompassing scheduling engine than it currently is. Yeah. Is there anyone that wants to follow this up with a follow-up question? Any
And
remarks?
Richard, I think I saw that you had your hand raised earlier and then you asked your question in the chat, but I wanted to invite you to raise your hand again if you wanted to actually talk to Erik. You're welcome to.
Absolutely.
Looks like Raphael's answer was appreciated.
Good.
Um, here's one question. Feels a little bit related to what you were just talking about, but if there's anything else you want to address, um, someone had asked, how can Planner track detailed progress, dependencies, and project timelines compared to more advanced tools like Project?
Yeah. So when it comes to tracking progress, let's open up that example schedule from my earlier example. From what Microsoft Project has, if you look at percentage complete, Microsoft Project has three different versions of that, right? We have the percentage complete, we have percentage work complete, and I even forgot the third one. I haven't touched that. Um, so there's multiple ways of setting this activity as being complete. In Planner Premium, there is just the task percent complete that we can use. So we can set that to 100%, and that task is now done. However, what we also have is if we assign this task to, for instance, myself, and if we add effort to it, let me find effort, which is work, is 40 hours, I can specifically go into the details and I can set percentage complete to, well, let's say 12 hours complete, and it has remaining task hours is 40. Remaining is 28. That is an added feature. There is no detailed time by day views available to us, where you would be able to select a individual task and see who's working on that, and or select a specific resource and then see who's working on that. There's no front loading or back loading of effort. But if we navigate to the assignments, we have something that comes close to it, where we have myself, the task that I'm working on with a start and end date, and we have the effort that we are performing. And let me see, we can set it to weekly, and we can see that here we have those 2 hours. Now, mind you, this is not a differentiator between work performed or work that's remaining. That's not an option here that we used to have in Microsoft Project. So when it comes to the question, is there what can Project for the Web do in regards to progress? We can measure progress based on a baseline. Yes. We can measure progress on task completion as well as hours completion on tasks. We cannot do that on the individual resource allocation. So that doesn't, if you have two people on a single task, the whole task will be moving towards completion. So it's not possible to say, okay, well, Eric and Dave work on that single task. Eric did all his work, but Dave didn't do anything yet. That's not an option that we have in Planner Premium. That's a big ask from my side personally, because that means that if we have that functionality, we can also look into earned value management, and we can look into more advanced ETC and sort of calculations. But currently that's not in place yet, and I have not seen a roadmap item where it discusses the ability to have more granularity in progress. That said, if you're curious about what Microsoft is working on, and just let me open the door for the cat before she scratches everything in the room. Sorry about that. This page here, which is available to anyone, is the Microsoft roadmap. And because Planner is part of the Microsoft 365, you'll find that application in this list as well. So Microsoft.com and then roadmap. And Morgan, I'll paste this into the chat so that we can
Great.
use it later for viewing purposes as well. What I've done here is I've selected the application planner and set the status to launched and rolling out. as a preparation for today, because I did want to talk about things that were actually launched recently. If you're curious about something that Microsoft is doing in Planner, you could look into the status of what is in development. Let me just remove this. And here you will see that smart backgrounds for basic plans. Get ready to customize your plans like never before. Lovely marketing term. In development, Planner app for teams in GCC High. So that is a specific governmental type of tenant that is security trimmed. New web app is in development for DoD, and more information barrier support. This is actually something that I'm very excited about. The reason, and yeah, the reason is to restrict access to plans and tasks based on user groups. So I'm not aware if you're aware of this, but Microsoft Teams or Microsoft Planner is a very, very open application. That means that if you're a part of a plan, you can basically change anything within that plan. So if you're a project manager and you created this schedule and you share that schedule with someone else that has a plan 3 or 5 license, that person then now can jump in that plan and completely change that plan. Now, that has been something of a hurdle for people to adopt the application. Microsoft is actively looking into that, and this seems to be the security trimming that we need, where we can restrict people from changing your project plan based on an access group. So that means that if you are the project manager, you now are the only one that can change that plan. And if you are only a team member, you might only be able to edit your task's progress. That is at least something that I believe is meant by this. It says that the preview is available. That is sadly not the case. Rolling out is somewhere this month. Maybe this is also a little bit optimistic. I'll ask the project team for more information about this. But that is something that I am very excited about, to be sure. Any questions that this brings up, or anything else that I said so far?
Yes, I want to welcome everyone on the call to ask your questions in the chat. Raise your hand if you'd like to talk. I have a question, Erik, that I'm interested in your thoughts on. So I will ask this while we're waiting. I want everyone to know that your questions take priority over my questions. MBug members who are here live, you're here to ask your questions, so we can interrupt mine at any time, but I have a curiosity I wanted to hear your thoughts on, Erik.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and ask since nobody's asking at the moment, but we have about 20 minutes left here on the call, so please, feel free to jump in with your questions, everyone.
Absolutely.
I'm curious about your thoughts of what features are we used to on project that we depend on that are not available yet in the new direction Microsoft is going that might keep people needing to use project even past the date when it's no longer technically supported.
Yep.
I'm just curious about where you see where things are right now and what are some of the challenges, and maybe even like you showed the dependencies, how it's not exactly the same, but we can kind of do it this way. Just
Yeah.
some thoughts that you have on where things are with that.
Yeah. So Two of the things that I've already touched on, in the sense that once Project Online um, is no longer available, two things that have been a recurring topic from multiple users is um, in Planner Premium, if I go to the grid, I have the option to add columns, which is of course very useful. And if I look at that, I can add labels, I can add these default values, but I can also create a new field. One of the biggest asks that I've been seeing in the field is the ability to create this across all projects, across all plans. So this is in Project Online, this is termed an enterprise custom field. So that means that all projects would have a field called department, for instance, or location, or region, or name it. There could also be one that's called SAP WBS number. And I say that as a text because that might even include dots, right? So 1.33.4.6. That could be a SAP number. Now, because all of our projects within the organization will align with SAP as a financial structure, it makes sense to have this as an enterprise custom field so that in reporting, we would always be coming back to that same field. This has been a really major ask for people to actually adopt Project for the Web and now Planner Premium. That wasn't a major ask, as well as the ability to secure your environment. Because Planner is developed and created with the mindset of a collaborative instance. It was very closely aligned to Microsoft Teams and the collaboration efforts that are available there. So Planner and Planner Premium are collaborative entities, but projects and schedules might not be. So Microsoft would love, I would love for Microsoft to be more security bound in that sense. And I'm hoping that the information barrier support will be that topic. Apart from that, there's advanced solutions within Project Online. Um, And those features are intense resource management or earned value management, or the ability to create multiple baselines because you have your scope changes along the way for a project. Those are niche questions that advanced users of Microsoft Project might miss in Planner Premium. Um, but what we see from the market is that that is not a showstopper for a lot of people. The ability to have custom fields, the ability to have security bound projects are much more important in that sense.
Hmm. That makes sense. What would you say are some of the benefits of that more collaborative environment in Planner?
I think the ability to quickly act during, for instance, sprint reviews or collaborative meetings where you discuss the project with your team. Um, that might make sense, as well as planners close alignment with Microsoft Teams. So in this system, I can immediately, and let me try that with a plan that actually has, let me add this one. This is a project where I have a link with Microsoft Teams and I can actually start a conversation about that task. So let me navigate, add this plan to a channel. So in here, I can add this plan to a channel on a Microsoft Teams folder and then have conversations with that. And because everyone has the same access within your plan, as long as they have the licenses, these people will then automatically be able to add additional tasks if needed, or remove tasks, or reschedule those tasks for the project manager. So that would be a benefit. Also, the ease of use of Planner is much higher than in Microsoft Project. I used to provide 3-day training courses for Microsoft Project, and I would have more than enough subject matters to extend that to a fourth or fifth or sixth day. But Planner, yeah, is a more simple application in that sense and easier to learn.
Cool. Do you feel overall optimistic about the transition then?
Well, for the general use of Planner, we see that there's a much wider adoption of Planner than Project Online ever had. I think it's a magnitude of 4. So
Mm.
where Project Online had one installation, we would have 4 Project for the Web or Project Online Planner Premium licenses, right? So it's a much larger audience working with Planner than with Microsoft Project. So that is good. I also feel that Microsoft is grasping the AI conversation very well in combination with plans and projects in general. The Copilot instance for Planner is very advanced, as well as the ability to have that project manager agent creating and iterating through tasks. Um, it's a different mindset Microsoft has, but I do think that we're on the right track.
That's
Also
interesting.
regarding the flexibility of the system, where you can attach this scheduling engine on top of a model-driven Power App and then extend that and extend that and extend that. Yeah.
Mhm. Thanks. That's my string of curiosities. We can leave a um I was gonna say uncomfortable silence, maybe pregnant pause is better. Just to give
No
some
worries.
folks space to raise their hands or drop something in the chat. We've got about 10 minutes left, everybody, so
While
pass the word. Mhm.
we still have those minutes, let me just raise this page here. If you're ever curious about creating a report based on Planner and Planner Premium, then in this URL, and I'll paste that in the chat as well. This is a blog article that I did a while back that talks about the differences between Planner and Planner Premium and your ability to create an enterprise report based on both. So there's a good way of creating reports in Power BI on everything related to Planner. And I just wanted to raise that so that everyone can see.
Thank you.
And you mentioned something about a forum.
Yeah,
That's an interesting topic.
yeah. So you're a member of our discussion forum.
Yeah, I am.
Yes,
Let's
I
see.
can show. I can show the forum on my screen for a second.
Mhm.
Let me open up my browser. It's taking a moment, which is fine because maybe somebody will think of a question in the meantime.
Yeah, I'm eagerly looking into the chat.
Yes,
And if there's anything that pops up after this session and you're thinking, oh, I should have asked Eric that, please be aware I do have a LinkedIn page where you can easily reach me, and you can even ask Morgan to forward anything. These are again my contact details in case you want to catch up after this session.
that's great. And I would love to also put in a plug for your YouTube channel and your blog. There's a lot of great stuff on there that we often share in our own newsletter too.
Hmm.
All right, so real quick, can you see my screen okay?
All right. Yes, I can. And Richard asked a question about the AI Copilot capabilities in Planner.
Great.
As we're moving into the end of this session, I think it is best to raise my YouTube channel as a source. There's two videos in there. One is specifically related to the Copilot features within Planner, and one is specifically raised to the project manager agent in Planner, which is two different AI agents that live with Planner information. Um, what I see is that they have vastly different approaches and different use cases, where the standard Copilot for Planner is currently very good at creating a work breakdown structure. You would give it a prompt, and it would be generate a work breakdown structure for X, Y, and Z, and it would be able to do that. However, that Copilot does not have the ability to create dependencies, duration, and um, um, yeah, dependencies, duration, and generic resources. That's something that I'm missing, but I'm sure that that is something that the team is aware of and looking into creating that. The other co-pilot or the other agent, the project manager's agent, I call in my video, I call it a assistant in preparing to create a schedule. So if you ask that project manager's agent, my goal is to create a new power plant in the west of the Netherlands. Then it would sum up a couple of subgrids or sub goals, and it would be able to do analysis on that. But that that AI will not create a schedule. It will help you analyze and work with your project. So those are two things that come to mind. Richard, I would love to forward you the links in YouTube. I might do that after. All right, Morgan,
Awesome.
sorry, back to you.
Yeah, no problem. That was great. And I'd also like to mention we can discuss a future session dedicated to those topics and demos and things like that. Happy to talk about that offline if you think that'd be valuable. Um,
Mhm.
so this is the forum that you've been seeing on your screen. I just quickly got here in my browser by typing in community.mpug.com. If you haven't been in here before, or if you're on MPug's homepage and want to get there that way, we can also do that. So that would be log in first.
No, sorry, I will stop sharing my screen because that doesn't
Oh,
make
no
sense.
problem. Thank-
Yep,
Cool.
I see
So,
your screen.
awesome. Um, Okay. Well, my screen share looks to be interrupting my sign in a little bit. That's fine. Resources and discussion forum is here. And if you're logged into your MPUG account, even if you've never been into the forum before, it takes you through a single sign-on where you just click a button, your MPUG credentials get you into this beautiful forum. It's a social media style forum, although it does a lot more than that too, which is great. So we've got a little start here where you can get oriented. You can say hello. Here's a Microsoft project dedicated. dedicated Microsoft project discussion thread. Um, this is where I posted about Eric's session today. We also have some open questions. It's a great place to come and ask a question or see what else is in here that you might be able to help others with. Here's our project management thread where I post articles. Questions are always welcome and encouraged in any of these spaces. And the resource sharing is under development still, but this is a great place if you find like a great template or something like that that you want to share. We've got a few different Excel related things. Here's something from Eric with a link to his link tree. So it's a great place to find some of Eric's resources. And this is new, brand new. So we are still developing things all the time for the forum. We're open to your feedback as well, just to make it the best we can for our members. So we've got 120 people or so in here, which is just a fraction of our actual membership number, which is why I talk about the forum all the time. Please come in. It just gets better with everybody who joins. And I usually like to mention as well that it's integrated with the main website, even though it is a separate platform, you can easily get back and forth to mpug.com, do whatever you need to do. I'm opening up the lessons right now. And that's that. Yeah. So if you have questions or if you have any challenges getting into the forum, I'm happy to help. Editor at mpug.com or Duncan, helpdesk at mpug.com. Can help you troubleshoot the forum if needed. But I definitely hope to see you in there. And um, we've got a great community of experts and peers and mentor possibilities as well, which is something we're excited about. So the more the merrier. I
Absolutely.
don't see any other questions, but I do see that Eric dropped some links in the chat for everyone. And I'm about to put up the claim codes for today's session so you can get your PMI credit. I will share that. You should see that on your screen. And I'll also put it in the chat for folks who are here live. You can copy and paste what you need. So you will see the MPUG generated code, which should work, but if it doesn't, there's a PMI generated code. It's a little harder to remember, but you can copy and paste that. And then if all else fails, the exact title of the session can also pull it up in the PMI catalog. So you can copy and paste the title of the course on the PMI side. It's called a course. That's there for you. Usually somebody will try it before we get off the call and confirm that it was claimed. And for the past month, I would say it's 100% claimable. So I think they got over the new challenges that they were having with their new website.
Yeah. And once again, if there's any questions that pop in your brain after this session, I'm freely available as well as Morgan. And we might even want to make that a community topic that we can share in the forum.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thank you
you,
for
Eric, for your
attending.
time and your insight.
No worries. Next time we'll be on AI, I think, together with another
Perfect.
contributor of MPUG. I think I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
that session.
I am too. I'm not 100% sure of the timeline on that, but we will definitely follow up on that, and we're
Yeah.
open to um, requests for live events from our members as well. The forum would be a great place to ask for
Uh,
what you're interested in learning about. So wonderful.
yes. All right.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your time and for being here with us today. And
Yes.
I'm going to stop my share and come back and say goodbye to everyone. All right. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye.